Me talk.
That's why more and more Lagosians are tuning in.
500,000 Lagosians.
720,000.
970,000.
Over 1 million Lagosians, they know that if you give me your afternoon, I will give you hard facts.
Well done, Sandra, on all you do, going beyond the headlines and focusing on the facts.
I am Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts. Hello, Lagos. Good afternoon. I am Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts. First hard fact of the day: the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal has allowed Peter Obi and the LP to enter into evidence U.S. court documents alleging that Bola Tinubu had a civil forfeiture over drugs. Tinubu and the APC also got a chance to cross-examine the person tendering it. Lagos, we've got over 1 million Lagosians listening to this show. Thank you for joining alongside them. I've got a great show for you today, starting with the big three. Let's talk about the petrol situation. Then let's talk about the EFCC and the SSS. And then let's talk about a Lagos woman accusing her son's principal of brutalizing him. Let's get into it. On day glass ceiling, Lagos, I have a story of a woman for selling her house, and she won. Let's talk about how business. Last week, Wednesday, we talked about how financial institutions collect debt. Today, I want to talk about how small businesses collect debt. 5 o'clock, don't miss that conversation. And then, of course, on the step down, we'll continue our conversation about how some men take out their financial frustration on their supportive partners. It was such a great conversation we started yesterday. We'll continue today. Expect news, business, and sports at the top of the hour every hour. But let's get started with today's big three. Lagos, I'm Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts.
This is the Big Three.
The big three
On Hard Facts.
On 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Our first story is the world after President Tinubu's subsidy is gone ad-lib. The presidency has clarified that Tinubu was referring to the end of June, which is when the money budgeted for subsidy will run out. So basically, they're saying that he did not mean subsidy is gone, effective immediately. Filling stations do not seem to have gotten that memo, including the NNPC. We're still getting reports of stations all over the country either selling at higher prices or refusing to sell. We're seeing some reports of the NNPC itself selling at over 400 naira. More governors are speaking out about this thing. They're threatening to punish stations who don't sell. Some marketers are saying that they're worried about not having enough money to restock if they sell at the pump price right now. But the government's position is simple. You bought fuel from the depots at a subsidized price with a commitment to sell at the agreed pump price. So any attempt to avoid that is a breach. I want to hear your thoughts on that. And then, of course, DPRA and NNPC are insisting that there's nothing to panic about. They are reminding Nigerians that we have known for 5 months that subsidy will run only until June. And that's true, Lagos, because we've talked about it here on Hard Facts more than once. And that brings me to a question. How come we are seeing these panicked reactions from stations since we already knew that subsidy would end at the end of June? Is it that the information did not go around, or did people simply believe it wouldn't happen, or did Tinubu's statement cause confusion about whether the subsidy was ending right away instead of at the end of June? What's the panic about? By the way, the federal government budgeted 3.7 trillion naira to run this subsidy from January to June. But NNPC says that they have not seen a single kobo of that money. They say that they've been paying the subsidy out of pocket from their revenue. At this point, they claim that the federal government owes them 2.8 trillion naira for the year so far. Meanwhile, Joe Ajero, the president of the NLC, that's the Nigeria Labour Congress, has criticized President Tinubu for saying subsidy is gone. He said, quote, "It is no heroism to commit against the people this level of cruelty at any time, let alone on an inauguration day. If he's expecting a medal for taking this decision, he would certainly be disappointed to receive curses for the people, considering this decision not only a slight but a big betrayal," end quote. Now, of course, here's the funny thing about that. The NLC endorsed Peter Obi for president, and Peter Obi himself, during the campaign, promised not to restore fuel subsidy either. So, does the NLC have the moral right to criticize Tinubu on this? We're hearing that the NLC will meet the presidency today. Meanwhile, Ipman seems to have publicly switched positions, because yesterday I told you what they had to say about the removal of subsidy, right? They opposed Tinubu's announcement, but today their publicity secretary said on TV that subsidy removal was the only way forward. He said, quote, "Removing subsidy is the only answer to make Nigeria great, because there is no country that can survive without deregulating the economy," end quote. So yes, a lot going on, Lagos. These are some of the reactions to subsidy removal. What do you think? And have you found fuel? That's the most important thing. How are you able to get to work or to your place of business today? How much transport fare have you been paying since yesterday? For those of you who are applying CMS to Aja, how much are you paying now? Those of you who are applying, see me talking as if I know the different bus routes. What are the bus routes charging now? What were they charging 2 days ago, 3 days ago? Are more people trekking in the mornings because there are not enough vehicles available? For me, who uses ride-hailing services, it is harder and harder to find one available. The wait times are so long now, 15 minutes, 20 minutes. I even saw 33 minutes this morning. Crazy stuff. 0700-993-993-993 01465-7190. We've got this call here. I wonder if I will be able to accept that call. I'm not sure. Okay, all right. I'm not going to be able to accept it, so let me come to the phone lines then. 99.3, hello.
Good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon. What's your name, ma'am?
Good evening. My name is Anne. I'm calling from Coca.
Anne, talk to me from Coca.
Yeah, I'm a core obedient.
Okay.
But, yeah, I'm a core obedient supporter.
Okay.
But on this subsidy removal, I am with Tinubu on this 100%.
Okay.
You know, when he announced that subsidy removal on his inauguration day, I was so happy. So this is what I have expected my sweet President Buhari to have done.
Okay.
But he backed down. But Tinubu took it up that day, and I'm with him on this.
Okay.
Even though I could do well, but if he could stand on his ground on this, if he stand his ground on this, then I will know that he is truly the man he says he is.
Okay.
True.
Okay.
Yeah. The Joe Ajero or whatever, because they don't. All they are after is going on strike, this and that. They should weigh the advantages and disadvantages of this first of the only few people. Even World Bank has said it that only few elites in this country enjoy this subsidy money. Why should it be so? So if they allow this subsidy to go, we know that the supply will increase, but at the long run, for demand and supply, the price will come down gradually. It will come down. It might even come down to less than 100 naira in future if they should allow this. But people are always panicking, this and that. Why don't we give it a chance on this first of this and with Tinubu?
All right, Anne, thanks for calling. Samuel is in Moe. Hi, Samuel.
Hello, Sandra. How are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome.
Oh, okay. fuel subsidy. In as much as I support the president, so you see, when a lie is traveling 10 kilometers per hour, the truth can be walking at 1 kilometer per hour if you see meet it up.
Okay.
Sometime 2012, they all of them, including the present president, said there is nothing like subsidy. All of them gathered at Ganifa Emi something, including Buhari, and they said there was no subsidy. Today, the thing has caught up with them. ADBD agreed that time. When they say it's a scam, see something that is a scam 5 years ago that is now a reality. That is where me I'm faulting them. Okay. But whether today or tomorrow or next tomorrow, I support them. But I support them on this. It must go. But one other thing I will say is that the way that statement came is not good. This is not military regime. A civilian regime. You talk to the people. The president did not apply that one. I think going forward, because that is mistake number one on the first day. Only God knows in the next 1 year how many mistakes will come. All
right, Samuel, thanks for calling. I'm trying to keep the calls very short so we can talk to as many people as possible. Emmanuel Ezekwe. Hi, Emmanuel.
Good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon. Talk to me.
Yeah, on the fuel subsidy, I've been one of those people, who believe the subsidy should go, to save us this headache. And again, Sandra, there is no money to run the government any longer.
Right.
We are at the point where if care is not taken, we are about to borrow money to be paying subsidy.
Right.
So who does that? So I think the question that I don't have answer to, if the money will be put to judicious use. That is why some of us do advocate, that we should cut, the cost of running governance, all these wastages. And again, for some people who are saying the Dangote refinery should come up before the subsidy go, who put all their hope on Dangote. I think we should, the man is in, he's a businessman. The problem we are supposed to take to Jesus Christ, we should not put those problems on Dangote. Because if we leave it like that, the subsidy might not go, and then the federal government will start owing Dangote, and then we, the same Nigerians, will be the one who will be calling Dangote once a rich man and now he's a poor man. So the subsidy should, and then we'll find it and then the government will be going to the issue of this.
Thank you very much.
No, good
afternoon. Talk to me.
How are you?
I'm very well.
Yes, on the subsidy, I support that it should go.
Okay.
On the ground that they have to put things on the ground so that we poor masses will not suffer it. Sandra, they are not paying any subsidy. It's only that they are selling their own on 50 naira, and after they refine it, they have to buy it on 100 naira. Who is the cause? Since how many years they are buying it like that? It's on the loss now. And if they are the cost, what will it take them to put our refinery on the ground? So
hello? Oh, Mama Felicia, we've lost our connection to her. Let's come to WhatsApp now, where we have a few comments. Irabo says, Sandra, the country is broke. Not because there was subsidy, but because the cost of governance and corruption is abnormally high. Subsidy must not be touched. What we need to do is stop the twin evil of high cost of governance and corruption. Only Nigeria will you see a magistrate and local government chairman have SUV official car and a police orderly attached to them. Ministers go with minimum 5 escorts vehicle. Most of the benefits from the removal of fuel subsidy might likely be used to service the greed and avarice of politicians. Where is the money realized from the removal of subsidies on diesel, aviation fuel, and kerosene? All right, Irabo, thanks for your message. We've got this one here. Without a name, it says, why should Nigeria be the only oil-producing country and OPEC member removing subsidy on petroleum products? So what are Nigerians gaining from being an oil-producing country? It is unjust to make Nigerians pay more when all 13 OPEC member countries subsidize for their citizens. It is absurd for Nigeria to be the only oil-producing country without subsidy. I'm not sure about this thing you're saying, my friend. I'm going to have to double-check because it doesn't sound accurate to me. We've got Bayo from MMA1 who says the best time to remove subsidy is now more than ever. Fine, it may be hard now, but we will align ourselves to it with time. How can some cabals be collecting 6.4 trillion naira annually just because we want to be buying PMS at 185 per litre? Since they have been subsidizing it, how has this benefited some of us that are agitating now? How much do we buy PMS in the US, UK, or Canada that we all run to? Well, Bayo, you cannot use UK, US, and Canada because US, UK, and Canada, what's their minimum wage? Compare their minimum wage to the minimum wage here, right? So if you're going to make the argument, let's make the argument for here. Don't use those countries. Don't compare those countries to this place. You are removing subsidy at a time where inflation is at an all-time high. And this is me, of course, who believes that subsidy should be removed, right? But you're removing subsidy at a time where inflation is at an all-time high. You do not have, or you have not offered yet what the alternatives will be. You have minimum wage at 30,000 naira. You have 33.3% unemployed. Food inflation insane. So you cannot begin to tell people, oh, US, UK, or Canada that you're running to, how much is PMS there? All right, back to Bayo's argument. So if buying PMS 500 will make federal government be accountable for infrastructural developments and job opportunities, why not allow them? All right, Bayo. However, will it make them accountable? If we're buying fuel at 500 naira in Nigeria, and I will say that Nigeria is one of the cheapest countries to buy fuel in. You go to Ghana, really expensive. Kenya, really expensive. Yes? Now, of course, you buy fuel at 500 naira in Nigeria. Will it really make government more accountable? Will government really be able to defend where that savings is going from? Because remember, like we talked about yesterday, the savings from stopping subsidy will actually go back to servicing the loans that we already borrowed. We're not going to actually be seeing the effect of the savings yet. We may not even see the effect of the savings for the next 6 months because we have basic that we have to pay out. So there's that. All right, we've got some minutes before the break, so let me take a few more calls. We've got 3 minutes. I'll try and squeeze in 3 calls in there. 99.3, hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name, sir?
The name is Joseph.
Joseph, talk to me.
Yes, Auntie Sandra. See, for me, I think that removing subsidy is not the way to go. There is no way the Nigeria government will not have anything to subsidize for its citizens. You can't just have a government that doesn't subsidize everything. When you want to talk about how much fuel is sold, I thank you. I thank you very much for having made that correction. When you want to talk about how much fuel is sold, compare UAE to how much they sold fuel. Fuel was sold at 2.4 something dirhams, which should be 2 naira plus. So don't do an exchange. Don't convert the dirhams to Nigeria and then make the comparison. Compared to that, they are selling fuel at 2 naira point 50 something kobo to a liter. That is how much they sell fuel in UAE. So why would Nigeria sell for 500? Is it my fault that the government has failed to do the right thing? Is it my fault that they allow that the government that is supposed to guide our borders allow this fuel to go across the border? And someone asked a very important question and said, where is the money that was removed from aviation fuel and diesel and kerosene? Where is that money? Is it the one that is removed from fuel that will change Nigeria overnight? There is not going to be anything. Let them leave that money and stop suffering people.
All right, we've got Prince in Amua Duffy. Hi, Prince YS.
How are you, Lady Sandra?
I'm very well. You've got 1 minute.
Okay. You see, taking subsidy away, I support it. But they should take the subsidy back to agriculture. We need food in this country. So that agriculture equipment, pay a lot of workers and let them go to farm. By then, you have food surplus in the country.
So agriculture is already subsidized.
No, it will put more. For that. And secondly, the money, the subsidy money, to have special account. Let us know how much to realize 2 months, 3 months, and take it to electricity, Make sure we have sound electricity, the insecurity that we have now. Spend the money and let the job be secure. Finally, as we speak, corruption make our refinery not to work. If they can repair the remaining the four refinery, let them give to private body to handle. That's what I will say this afternoon, my lady Sandra.
All right, thank you very much for calling to say it. We'll take a break. When we come back from this break, Lagos, let me bring you our second story. I'm sure you've been following that fight between the EFCC and SSS. The president has waded in and ordered the the SSS, sorry, to do normal. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. This is Nigeria Info 99.3. Don't go away.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We'll be right back.
Did you know that unlocking the secrets of successful online businesses has never been easier? With just a simple click of a button, you can replicate strategies used in dropshipping, affiliate marketing, e-trading, and much more. Say goodbye to endless hours of struggling and learning on your own. Use softwares to automatically get the same result as industry experts and make money while you sleep. Join us for the Wealth Replication System Products Presentation Conference taking place this Thursday and Friday, 1st and 2nd of June at 11 a.m. Venue, CITC House, 25 Wemco Road, Ikeja, Lagos. Simply text WEALTH to 0817 777 0764. That is 0817 777 0764 to register now. The Wealth Replication System Products Presentation Conference, powered by Capital Academy. See you there.
All round the clock, all year round. Never a time the journey would have been easy without you. You made your number one talk station, Nigeria Info, part of your everyday life.
Nigeria Info, call us. You people, I like this. What I want to hear every time.
And now, because of your active listening and contribution, we are crowned the radio station of the year. We are incredibly humbled and honored to be standing on the solid ground of your trust on our programming. This recognition means so much to us, and we are deeply grateful for it. Thank you for making this possible. Thank you for choosing Nigeria Info. Thank you for answering our call. Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Honda Manufacturing Nigeria Limited, the Obunge company for motorcycle and power products, don't land in Lagos office for 57 College Road, Orimolade bus stop, Efako Ogba, Lagos State. Now him be say, you go fit buy your power products like generators, multi-purpose engines, water pumps, lawn and garden products, plus agric products like tiller, mobile backpack sprayers for this Honda Lagos office. Hey, Unicorn motorcycles for delivery and logistics, they're there. Motorcycle and power products spare parts, as well as Honda genuine oil, 1 liter and 0.8 liter bottles, they there. Fully equipped service workshop for motorcycle and power products repairs, they there with expert technicians. You feel call to book them for your home service. Our office they open between 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Fridays. Yes, so Honda don't dey gidigba for 57 College Road, Orimolade bus stop, Efako Ogba, Lagos State. Our telephone now 0817 222 9298. Honda, the power of dreams.
NS to
Oga, wetin happen? I don send am go market. Abi dey owe you money.
Oga pharmacy, no be your boy I dey call jare. I dey ask for NS liver salt, medicine wey dey comot any yamayama discomfort for person belle, whether na heartburn, constipation or even indigestion. NS liver salt get lemon, orange and other correct flavors. With NS liver salt, belle go dey balance. Oya Oga pharmacy, sama me one make I go enjoy.
NS liver salt, the medicine where they make your belle kulele. Russian Tiny Pharmacy, go buy your own now.
Now, product of Neskem Pharmaceutical Limited.
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
Your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Since the inauguration, the SSS and EFCC have been in a bizarre dispute. That's our second story. Lagos. I am Sandra Ezekwesili, and this is Hard Facts. The EFCC accused the State Security Services of besieging one of its offices on Awolowo Road. They say it's part of a tough war. Their official statement reads, quote, operatives of the Lagos command of the EFCC arrived at their office on number 15 Awolowo Road, Ikoyi this morning, May 30, 2023, to be denied entry by agents of the DSS who had barricaded the entrance with armored personnel carriers. This development is strange to the Commission, given that we have cohabited with the DSS in that facility for 20 years without incident. By denying operatives access to their offices, the Commission's operations at its largest hub, with over 500 personnel, hundreds of exhibits, and many suspects in detention, have been disrupted. Cases scheduled for court hearing today have been aborted, while many suspects who have been invited for questioning are left unattended. Even more alarming is that suspects in detention are left without care, with grave implications for their rights as inmates. All of these have wider implications for the nation's fight against economic and financial crimes. The siege is inconsistent with the synergy expected of agencies working for the same government and nation, especially when there are ongoing discussions on the matter. End quote. Now, the SSS responded, and their tone was their response was almost like, what's doing those ones? The SSS said, quote, by the way, there's no controversy over number 15 Awolowo Road as being insinuated by the media. End quote. First of all, excuse me, the media? Why are we in it? Not be we talk now EFCC tell us say una bounce them. But the SSS went on, quote, did the EFCC tell you it is contesting ownership of the building? I will be surprised if it is contesting the ownership. Awolowo Road was NSO headquarters. SSS/DSS started from there. It is common knowledge. It is a historical fact. Check it out. There's no rivalry between the service and the EFCC over and about anything. Please do not create any imaginary one. They are great partners working for the good of the nation. Dismiss any falsehood of a fight. End quote. But that statement did not address the core issue, which is, did the SSS stop the EFCC from accessing the office on Tuesday or not? The presidency says it did, says they did. It stepped in and ordered the SSS to let the EFCC in. Presidential spokesperson Tunde Roman said that the president, quote, directed DSS to immediately vacate the office of the EFCC in Ikoyi, Lagos. If there were issues between the two important agencies of government, they would be resolved amicably, end quote. So even the presidency believes that there's beef between the two agencies. And this is not the first time that we've seen something like this. If you remember, Abike Dabiri was, when she was the MD of NIDCOM, she accused then Communications Minister Issa Pantami of chasing her staff from a shared office with armed men. Do you remember that? We've also seen quite a few brush-ups between different security agencies. There was the infamous shootout between the police and the army over the arrest of a kidnapper, with the police coming to Twitter to come and report the army to us. If you remember, we talked about it on our facts at the time as well. Then there was the face-off between police and civil defense in River State over artisanal refineries. So we have lots of examples where our security agencies and law enforcement have disagreements and cannot resolve them amicably. Instead, they start fighting themselves in public. And I wonder what the root cause of that is. Do you have an idea what the root cause of that is? Is it a reflection of the level of discipline and coordination in our security agencies? And if that's the case, should Nigerians who rely on them for safety be worried? Women call me on 01465-7190. Men call me on 0700-993-993-993. By the way, do you have fuel? How much did you buy fuel? Where did you buy from? How much are they selling? I'm seeing official communication from the NNPC now, from their Twitter, their verified Twitter. And the communication reads, quote, NNPC Limited wishes to inform our esteemed customers that we have adjusted our pump prices of PMS across our retail outlets in line with current market realities. As we strive to provide you with the quality service for which we are known, it is pertinent to note that prices will continue to fluctuate to reflect market dynamics. We assure you that NNPC Limited is committed to ensuring a ceaseless supply of products. The company sincerely regrets any inconvenience that this development may have caused. We greatly appreciate your continued patronage, support, and understanding during this time of growth and change. Signed, Chief Corporate Communications Officer, Garbadeen Muhammad. So yeah, it's official. It's also strange because we have NNPC earlier insisting that there's nothing to panic about, reminding Nigerians that their prices will stay where it's at because the subsidy for that has already been paid. I talked about it during our first story. The fuel in the market is already the subsidized price. So changing the price now, that's a breach of the commitment they had with government. It's all really interesting, isn't it? We've got Frank Azu on the line. Hi, Frank. Welcome. Frank, can you hear me? Hi, Frank. All right, it doesn't look like Frank can hear me. So let's come back to Nigeria then. 99.3. Sorry about that. Give me a call back if you can. 0700-993-993-993. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name, sir?
My name is Chinuzi. I'm calling from AJCC.
Talk to me.
For the subsidy, I'm in support of that. Let us remove the subsidy so that at least the money will reduce that from the petroleum because the subsidy is not benefiting. We are not gaining from the subsidy. Only the government who is gaining from the subsidy. So let us remove it. So for the DSS, EFCC is not doing well for DSS. Assuming EFCC has got that, whenever they have the business, they went there to settle the DSS. There will be no issue for them. But the DSS are fighting for their pockets because in Nigeria, fight for your pocket alone. You cannot fight for the people, just fight for your own portion.
All right, thanks for calling. Baba G is here. Baba G, you've got 1 minute. Hello, Baba G.
Yeah, bless you, Sandra.
Welcome. You've got 1 minute.
How do you fuel your car, Sandra? It's like before the announcement, you receive information, honestly. You have fuel.
Why?
Yeah.
Because I came to work.
Honestly now, because the time, your timing, you can't change it, which is very good. 3 dots, you are there. Let's look at it from different angle. I've seen people telling you that, look, for this, I supported the president. But I disagree. Sandra, let me say this. All of us, there is no need of even paying subsidy, if you ask me.
Okay.
Because Nigeria, we are blessed. We have the crude. My state, where I'm from, we have 57 flowing stations. We are a nation. We probe those people who collected money for turnaround. What about the modular refinery, our vice president commission? What happened? By the time you put all of them together, the 4 refinery working to full capacity, and private bodies, you started opening small refineries. When you remove the subsidy, we will not feel the impact. That is what people are saying. And if anybody is telling you they should remove it, few people are eating the money. Who are the few people eating the money? Am I the one with, vessel, traveling, bringing finished products? Is it not the same people? They don't know themselves. Why can't they do the needful? I said it in another platform, that the National Assembly released about $1.5 billion, I've not forgotten, for Port Harcourt and one refinery like that. And they promised us that the refinery must work by the end of the year. What happened?
Thank you for calling, Baba G. We've got Christopher and Lucky on the line. Hi, Christopher. Christopher, are you there? Hello? All right, doesn't look like we've got Christopher there. 99.3. Sorry about that. Give us a call back if you can. Let me go to WhatsApp real quick where we've got this one here from Ben. Ben says, Nigerians can now see why the war against insecurity is never won. Little wonder we hear of ambushes now and again by terrorists against our gallant soldiers and we lose our best men and women. May God bless us. All right, Ben. We've got this one here from... you didn't leave your name, but you say that Batified are saying Peter Obi also said he will remove subsidy immediately. This is a lie from the deepest pit of hell. We must look beyond total dependence on oil. We'll reduce subsidy by 50% with concomitant measures and counterbalance policies and programs to cushion the impact of the subsidy removal. We'll support modular refineries and local refining for domestic use and pricing in Naira. This is allegedly a quote from Peter Obi. This same NNPC that claimed that they have enough supply in stock and everyone was blaming the marketers, NNPC has now reviewed their price. This was ill-planned. Nigerians will now face the attendant inflation. Nigeria will survive. Welcome to renewed... I cannot read the rest of what that person wrote there because it's not radio friendly. Adedeji from Ayobo says, the fuel marketers and every Nigerian involved in fuel selling and buying in large quantities as an end meet has no excuse to trigger fuel prices more than the normal pump subsidized price. Well, what do you say to the NNPC? NNPC just announced that they are also raising their own price. We've got this one here. Sandra, did you listen to VP Shetima that the politicians benefited 90% more than the masses? The president should probe the subsidy transaction and NNPC claiming that they're being owed. This is a scam. I want to hear about people going to jail. Come to NNPC Awolowo Road, Ikoyi. The price now is 488 naira per liter. That's displayed on their signboard. I support the removal, but how many of our refineries are working at the moment? Before Buhari left Villa, they promised Nigerians. I hope the current president will not deny what he said on his first broadcast, as it is out of script, because they know how to deny and defend themselves. Benjamin from Ikoyi with that message there. We've got... this message here, Sandra, from Estate Bus Stop to K2, from Estate Bus Stop K2 to VI, that used to be 300, is now 1,000 naira. Now imagine that somebody is making 25,000 or 30,000 naira. Their entire earnings will go on transport fare if they're transporting themselves to work every day. Oh my God! Oh my God! We've got Kevin who says, Sandra, the organization is called, Kevin, I beg, it's actually State Security Service. We've got this one here from Ade in Ejibwa. Ade says, I don't know why people are surprised about what is going on now. I'm not surprised at all. I saw it coming. There are more to come. I hope they will not ban EFCC and ICPC soon. The reason for hate speech law is to stop people from talking about what they do. You can hear when their supporters speak arrogantly. Very soon, you'll see area boys replicated across Nigeria with the ones in Lagos double. Law enforcement officers will go wild, both state and federal. Ade from Ejigbo with that message there. We've got Onyeka who says our problem is corrupt leaders and to reduce the cost of running governance, that's all. All right. So Maga says, I listened to the TUC president on channels yesterday, and he agreed that while TUC and NLC backed Obi, they had a reaching agreement on the implementation of the removal process. The agreement, in a nutshell, was a rejection of a unilateral decision to remove it without consulting, like Tinubu has just done. Also agreed was a gradual and phased removal process with palliative programs on ground running parallel with the removal process. So it won't be fair to the TUC NLC to accuse them of hypocrisy. All right. So Maga, thank you for your message. Now, of course, like I keep saying, Tinubu did not unilaterally remove subsidy. The president and the National Assembly essentially did it when they decided to stop funding subsidy by the end of June. That's it. The money that was allocated for subsidizing fuel in the budget, it was supposed to cater for just 6 months. And Zainab Ahmed at the time said with her full chest that this was for political reasons. It was supposed to end January 1st, but when we got to January, they said, oh, we know they do it again because we know what may we lose election. Election they come. If we come out now, people go to vex for APC, so they will agree with us again. Zainab Ahmed said with her full chest. And we talked about it at the time on Hard Facts. And people called and he shouted and he said, hey, hey. You know, and if you listen to the president's speech, President Tinubu now, if you listen to his speech on Inauguration Day, he said, it's unfortunate, it is what I met, but as far as subsidy is concerned, it is gone. You know, so he didn't do it unilaterally, he met it like that. It was set in motion by the previous administration, the president and the 9th Assembly. Let's come back to the phone lines now. 99.3, hello.
Hello, good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon. What's your name, sir?
I'm Ezedun from Surrey.
Welcome, Ezedun. Talk to me.
Subsidy removal, it must happen. Subsidy is a cancer that must be killed. But before you do that, you form your government. Sandra, are you not surprised that after 48 hours, the key appointments are yet to be announced? Are you not surprised? Is it not troubling? But having said that, I want to say that the fight between DSS and EFCC is a terrible sign that they sabotaged President Buhari's efforts. They cannot even wait for 24 hours for the new president to take over, and they begin to show their beef they have in the last administration. I advise the president to sack them, reform DSS, reform EFCC, form your government, appoint SSG, appoint chief of staff. That will be the basis of the administration. Form your government. It's highly troubling to me personally that after 48 hours, key appointments are yet to be made. Ezedun from Surrey.
Ezedun, thank you very much for calling. I love that we're keeping it very short. 99.3. Sorry about that. Give me a call back if you can. I'll take one final call and now bring you our third story. 99.3.
Hey, I greet you, Sandra Ezekwesili.
I greet you back. Welcome. Talk to me.
I'm not the Kevin. I send a message for emphasis sake. Sandra, I noticed this queue last week. And I was even asking some people, what's happening? Is there first casting? Why are you people queuing here? You know, so when the thing finally, dawned on some of us, I now realize what happened. I mean, I don't call it subsidy, I call it corruption. Because subsidy in the right sense, that name, that phrase has been bastardized. Subsidy is not a bad thing. I know countries that subsidize education for the people, that subsidize farming for the people. But the issue here is, whatever you want to subsidize for us here in Nigeria, corruption will creep in. We saw them now that they were paraded one time now, those that did not bring any products, the subsidy scam people. We saw them. What has happened to most of them? I believe that issue has gone to oblivion. So I don't even want to call it subsidy because what they are doing is corruption. It's just simple as that. So whatever the president wants to do about it, let him do. And for the DSS and for the EFCC, my happiness when I saw that story was the swiftness of the president. That is how a president should be. We have seen agencies crash in this country. Our former president was all sitting there aloof. I see nothing happen. He will not say anything. The thing will get messier and messier everywhere. Everybody will now, it should be turned to a caricature. But President Bola Tinubu, look at the sweetness. Yes, come on here. Simple. Yes, that is the way a president should be, not a lukewarm president. We don't need a lukewarm president in this country. That's my case, Jerry.
Thank you for calling. We've got Godman here. Hi, Godman.
Yeah, Sandra, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome. Talk to me.
Yeah. Okay, look at the situation of the DSS. I'm just thinking out loud.
Okay.
So could it be that the DSS go there to get some sensitive documents or information from that could implicate the former government? Do you get me? Like they're coming to take those information in order for it not to be exposed or some secrets, you understand? And so after all that has been done, then it just looks like, oh, go and get them out of there. So they're taking what they want to take. I'm just thinking of that.
Okay, all right.
So that's my submission.
Interesting conspiracy theory there. Engineer Bolaji is here. Welcome. Talk to me.
Good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon. Talk to me.
We all know what the problem on this government is facing, especially why our refineries are not working. It is just because of that subsidy.
those in charge, they are the ones bringing in what we call fuel, and they will not pay the refineries work. If they don't remove this subsidy, well, it has affected our education, health sector, many things. If that money was invested on agriculture, we'll have food in abundance in this country. So I am in full support of the subsidy being removed. At no other time but now.
Okay.
Then concerning the building on Awolowo Road, that place is cohabiting the two organizations. Initially, it was the SSS office. They occupied the left window. Immediately you enter from the gate, the DSS occupies the left window, while the EFCC occupies the direct buildings in front of the store. So, since they've been together for the past 20 years or more, I see no reason why they should be fighting over the office. God bless Nigeria.
God bless you. Thank you very much for calling. Benjamin is in Ikoyi. Hi, Benjamin. Sorry about that. Let's try our diaspora crew one more time. Okay. We don't have that call coming through again. So let me come back to Nigeria. Now you divide the four here. Last. 99.3.
Hello, Sandra. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name, sir?
My name is Olumuyiwa, calling from Aja.
Talk to me. Long time.
Yeah. Sandra. Well, let's look at it this way. Like you've said, the APC were like, if we should announce fuel subsidy removal, they go scatter this country and democracy go end. Let's wait for new administration to announce by themselves. Now, why the new president was announcing the greediness in Nigeria blood, they started inflating and manipulating the citizens. From Aja to Badore that used to be 200, they are now carrying 500, 600, 700. For what?
Because they are buying fuel more expensively.
Just yesterday, Abi, they just buy the fuel yesterday. And they started refilling their greediness to the Nigerians.
Even if they didn't just buy it yesterday, they will still buy that same yesterday. And if they buy with what they were charging before, they will not be able to afford fuel from yesterday.
The filling station themselves, they have already subsidized for them to the ending of this June that we have not entered.
But if
so why are they now quickly jumping?
If their leader, who is NNPC, has already jumped, what choice do they have?
Now, I like your question. Let's forget I am Yoruba, you are Igbo. This is the right time to ask them questions. This is the time to protest a right protest. If we don't have light, we use fuel for our generator. Let them subsidize for solar panel. Let each house now have free inverters so that we can power our house. Let's ask them for transportation. This is not the time to say Tinubu, Buhari, whatever. This is the time for Nigeria and Labour and whatever NLC, whatever, to protest and ask last question. If we continue lamenting, we are just see the beginning. They are planning against the citizens, even though it's Atiku or Peter Obi that enter. All of them, that is free control the country. So let the country stand up. And see, even this, it happening in Germany now, they don't increase small fuel price. Everybody buy their car on the street. When will Nigeria start their own? When I'm going to be in lamentations? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much.
You are listening to your number one station for talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
All round the clock, all year round. Never a time the journey would have been easy without you. You made your number one talk station, Nigeria Info, part of your everyday life.
Nigeria Info, call us. You people, I like the energy. This is what I want to hear every time.
And now, because of your active listening and contribution, we are crowned the radio station of the year. We are incredibly humbled and honored to be standing on the solid ground of your trust on our programming. This recognition means so much to us, and we are deeply grateful for it. Thank you for making this possible. Thank you for choosing Nigeria Info. Thank you for answering our call. Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the biggest football fan festival is back. It's Goal Fest, the Festival of Champions. Featuring exciting games, food, comedy, live music by some of the very best Nigerian music superstars. And you can watch the UEFA Champions League final on a huge screen. Goal Fest 2023 will take place on the 10th of June at the Balmoral Convention Center, Federal Palace Hotel, Amadu Bello Way, Victoria Island, Lagos. Time 2 p.m. Get your tickets now available at www.goalfestnigeria.com. Goalfest 2023 is powered by Femi and the Gang and Football Republic. Proudly refreshed by Pepsi.
Sponsored by BetWinner.
Sincerely, I don't want to wait till I graduate from this school before I think of what to do with my life.
Exactly. I am going to seriously work on my music skills. Let me use my talent well, I beg.
I would like to be a radio presenter, but I don't know how to go about it.
But why is Simi so quiet today?
Sorry, ladies. I'm taking this interesting course on how to become a professional scriptwriter. You too can also learn how to become a radio presenter on Wazobia Academy.
Wazobia Academy?
Yes, Wazobia Academy provides accessible and affordable online training in filmmaking, music business, fashion, radio hosting, and lots more. You also stand a chance to be selected for internship in leading production companies, radio stations, music, and fashion studios for hands-on experience. It's easy. Simply log on to www.wazobiaacademy.com or call 0908-826-5038 for more details.
Wazobia Academy. Learn and lead.
Take charge of what you hear and when to listen.
All at your convenience. It's there on our mobile app and website.
Download the mobile app on iOS and Play Store or visit www.nigeriainfo.fm.
99.3. Let's talk.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Your number one station for talk. Let's talk.
I'm Sandra Ezekwesili, and we've got Dio in Canada who says, if you don't like I support subsidy removal, absolutely. However, the comparison with advanced countries is absolutely wrong. Fuel today is $1.56 where I live, which is 880 naira per liter. But I know how much I earn bi-weekly from one of my jobs. That price for me doesn't bite here. And apart from that, my guy, you also have 24 hours of power. So you're not spending this 500 naira on average that people will be spending to buy fuel. They're not just spending it on their cars. They're spending it to transport themselves from point A to point B. They will also spend it to have electricity on in their houses. So it's a really expensive endeavor. I'm not saying that it's not necessary to do. I'm not saying that a subsidy doesn't need to go, but people need to be a bit more circumspect when they're saying things like, look at what's happening in the countries where you're running to. That's the wrong-headed thing to say. You are poor. Nigeria has overtaken India as the country with the most poor people in the land. And these poor people are going to have to live on fuel as their source of electricity, as their source of transportation to and from work. And they're going to be paying for this high cost of fuel on every single thing. Tomato price will increase. Fish price will increase. Rice price will increase. Because all of these items have to be transported from point A to point B, and transportation go increase. And the person where they pay for transport needs to make a profit. Everything will increase. So regardless of whether you support the removal of subsidy or not, and whether it will bite you personally or not, we need to be a bit more concerned about it, because things are about to get really hard for everyone. When we come back from this break, let's talk about a woman who sued her husband. Not her divorced man, no. Her husband that she's still married. She took him to court because he sold their house without telling her, and the court said, how dare he? I'll tell you that story when we come back from this break. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. You're listening to Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
It's 4